All right. All right. All right. All right. All right. Let me go ahead and turn this down. All righty. All right. All right. All right. All right. Hello, hello, hello. What is going on? Welcome in. Welcome, guys. Welcome to episode 17 of the PAWCAST. If you guys are brand new here, if you guys are tuning into this live for the very first time, or if you guys are coming back to this and watching it once it is a VOD, my name is Oborrok. I'm known as the White Wolf. My community is known as the Galactic Wolf Pack. Everything we do is about positivity. We chill, we vibe, we hang out. And yeah, we are doing episode 17 of our podcast. Today we are bringing on a very good friend by the name of JanuaryAndOn, also known as Zhao. And we're going to be talking about gaming content creation. We're going to be talking a little bit about beer. We're going to be talking about creating gaming content, gaming in general, what the last 3 years has been like, how it's changed, how things have developed, what we've seen, and a bunch of really cool stuff. So this is gonna be an awesome episode. Thank you very much for joining us. I'm really excited to jump into this. Sydney, it's good to see you. Thank you for joining us live. I appreciate you. Welcome in. Said I'd be watching sometime. Exactly. See, we be watching. We watching. Exactly. Thank you for watching. Exactly. All right. See, you get it. You understand. We're watching, dude. Alrighty. Hopefully, everyone has been having a great week. Happy Friday. If you guys are, again, watching this live, happy Friday. Or if you are potentially watching this next week, or the next Friday after that, or Friday after that, or whenever you may be watching this, once it is a VOD somewhere in the future, happy Friday, if it is still Friday. But hello, welcome in, guys. Hopefully everyone is doing well. Hopefully your week has been great. And if you do have any plans for the weekend, what plans do you got for the weekend? Alrighty, so again, the theme of today, we are going to be bringing on my buddy Zhao, and we're going to be talking about gaming content creation from his perspective, what he's noticed and how things have changed over the last 3 years. It's going to be a good time. It's going to be a really good time. So yeah, I'm really excited to see and hear what he has to say and talk about my own personal experiences over the last 3 years too. It's gonna be a good time. It's gonna be a really, really good time. Alrighty. So if you guys are wanting to check out any of the other socials that we have, we're on TikTok. We're on Twitter, Instagram, all that kind of stuff. We are on Facebook too, known as the Cosmos. I had it as Oborrok, but I changed it to the Cosmos. You know, the Galactic Wolf Pack. We be orbiting throughout the cosmos. So Facebook, the Cosmos, the space Cosmos, and then TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, all those at Oborrok. If you guys want to check out any of the short form content, I will be condensing little episodes of the podcast into shorter form content as well. So if you want to check out little like tidbits of the podcast, if you guys want to check out any of the other content that we create, then all of the socials are at Oborrok. Also, we do stream. We play a whole bunch of video games. So if you guys do want to check out where we stream, I will be getting back into more YouTube gaming streams here in November. So November 3rd, they are doing Chapter 1, Season 5 of Fortnite, and I'm really excited for that because we're going back. We're going back, baby. We're going back to pretty much where it all started. So I'm really excited for that. We will be doing a little stream over here on YouTube with that, so I'm very excited about that. But also, I do stream on Twitch. I stream on Kick a little bit if you guys want to check that out. All those names are at Oborrok, Oborrok, if you want to check out the streams and be a part of the gaming streams. If you would like to hang out with the community, that is where we stream. Kick, Twitch, a little bit of YouTube. Gonna be getting back into YouTube. Car Guy, thank you for joining us, and thank you so much for the lurk, man. I appreciate you. Thank you, brother. Thank you very much, man. Alrighty, now if you guys are enjoying the content so far and you have not already subscribed, please do. It does help out a lot, and I massively appreciate it. We are closing in on 1,600 subs, and that is insane. That is absolutely insane. Thank you guys for the continued support. I really appreciate you guys. Thank you for enjoying the content. And if you guys have any recommendations or specific types of content you guys would like to see, please let me know. Feel free to let me know because I would love to create more content that you guys would like to see. Now, also, our podcast is on Spotify. So if you like watching the podcast, then you can do so on YouTube. But if you like listening to podcasts, then we do also have it on Spotify. And I will provide a link link to that if you guys want to go over there and check that out. It is also on Spotify. Now, again, if you guys are enjoying this series, if you guys are enjoying the podcast, please drop it a like. If you drop the streams a like, it does help out a lot, and I massively appreciate it. To everyone that has already done so in this podcast and the previous episodes, thank you very much. You can also drop a rating on Spotify, and you can also follow on Spotify, which is massively appreciated also. So thank you very much to everyone who has done that. Now, throughout this podcast, if you guys have any questions, concerns, comments, stories, any of that, for Zhao or for me or for anything like that, you can leave them in the live section. And we will answer those live. Once this is a VOD, you can leave them in the comment section, and then we'll go back and we will comment on the VOD comments, right? And then also, if you are listening on Spotify, then you can go into the Q&A section. You can scroll down a little bit on Spotify, go to the Q&A section, and then you can leave a question, answer, comment, story, anything like that, and then we'll go in there and we will reply to those. So yeah, all right, let's get into this, man. Let's get into this. Alrighty, man. All right. Hello. Let me get this going here. Hello, good sir. Oh, you are muted. There we go.
Hey.
Hello. Hey. There we go, man. There we go. Hello, sir. How you doing? Good to see you, my man. Welcome in. Hello.
Yeah. As my dad says, it's good to be seen.
Yeah. You want to know what, man? I see you. I hear you. I'm very appreciative to have you here, man. Thank you for joining us. What's going on, my man?
Happy to be here, man.
Going on, my man. Yo, also, I do want to say, when I first posted that I was making a podcast like 17 weeks ago, you were the first one that commented on it, and you said W, and full circle moment, dude. Here we are, 17 weeks later, 17 episodes later. You're on the podcast, man. Thank you very much, man.
Well,
Thank you for
shout out to
believing in
you.
it.
Shout out to you. It's real easy to get a few episodes out and lose steam.
Yeah.
You've kept it up.
Yes, sir. And I mean, it's just, I mean, you know me, man. I'm really passionate, you know. So if there's something I'm passionate about, I want to keep it going. You know, I really want to keep it going. Now, good sir, I see that you are sipping on a good old brewski. What you sipping on?
Yeah, I've already started. I have a hard time being live without drinking something. So this is from a brewery in Oregon called Crutch, and this is their Bashi Japanese rice lager.
Ooh, I like I really like the can. Design's very nice.
Fun can, not my favorite beer. Rice lagers typically don't have a ton of character, and this one seems to follow suit.
Just kind of there. Just a nice beer to kind of have.
Rice lagers are often even lighter than like your typical American light beer. So it is I mean, it's crisp, don't get me wrong. That's not a bad thing. It's just that style of beer is not really known for it.
I got you. Zhao, how has your Friday been? How's it been so far?
Pretty good. You know what? I've been trying to take care of myself a bit better. I say that now as I'm drinking a beer, but I'm trying to drink less, trying to go to the gym more. Normally on my lunch breaks, I lay in my bed and watch TikTok, but today I went to the gym during my lunch break, and
good man.
I think I'm going to try and make that kind of a usual thing.
Good
if
man.
I can.
Good man. So I used to have like a really good sleep schedule for a while. Also, by the way, Beardo, thank you very much for joining us. Welcome in. Hello, how you doing, Beardo? Good to see you. I used to have a really good sleep schedule that turned into like a horrible sleep schedule for like years, right? But I finally told myself, I was like, bro, I can't go to bed 2, 3, 4 in the morning and be waking up at noon, 1 p.m. I was like, I can't do that. So as hard as it was, I was like, I'm gonna change the cycle, right? So I started going to bed at like 11, and I started waking up at 6:45, going for a 2-mile walk first thing in the morning. Get your shoes on, get the crusties out of your eyes. You know what I mean? Just get out, get some fresh air, go for a walk. And let me tell you what, dude, it's been amazing. It's been amazing. So I'm glad that you're doing that too, man. You know, like breaking the cycle of
little bit.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, and I've been doing some things that are a lot better. I used to just sit up until 2 or 3 drinking a bottle of whiskey. So, you know, anything is better than doing that.
I hear you, man. I definitely hear you. I've always been like health conscious, right? But I've
Mhm.
always been really bad at like applying it. You know what I mean? I'd always be like, oh, this is what I need to do, or like this is what I should do, right? And then it's like, tomorrow, or it's like,
Absolutely.
I went to the gym and it's like, I've been putting off, lifting heavy or like trying a new PR. I'll do it next week. And it's like I never get to it. So it's like I mean, it's one of those things too where it's just like ripping the band-aid off, You just got to do it.
Absolutely.
You literally just
No,
have to do it.
you do. And I mean, and it's kind of interesting. Like I'm not old, but I'm getting older. Um, and my initial goal was I'd stop drinking pretty heavily at 35, and I'm turning 34 in about a month. Um, and you know what? It's a mixture of not bouncing back as I used to. Not kind of like the beer stays with me a bit longer, right?
Mm.
Like I'm a bit heavier than I want to be. Not I'm obviously not obese or anything by any means, but I am heavier than I want to be, and um, there are things that are worth doing. And the reality is, and this was kind of a paradigm shift for me. Um, and this is an ongoing conversation with any sort of uh, with anything that becomes self-destructive, and literally anything can become self-destructive from
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
from engaging in intoxicants all the way to work, right, to
Yeah,
working
workaholic.
out even.
Yeah,
um
workaholic, working out, body dysmorphia, 100%.
yeah,
Absolutely.
I realize, like, I have to constantly have a check-in with myself when I'm having a beer, drinking a little bit more. Am I experiencing this beer, or am I using it?
Ooh.
And oftentimes I find myself in stressful situations where things aren't going that well. I lean more into I'm using it. And
Mhm.
if and you know, that is a conversation you have to have with yourself. That's one that I try to have pretty regularly.
Absolutely. And I will say too, I want to say congratulations and please be proud of yourself that you've been able to make that progress, because
Oh yeah.
sometimes it's hard to even get to that place of like, this isn't a problem, this
Yeah.
isn't a
Yeah.
problem. I don't need to make a change, or it's like having that realization and being like, damn, maybe I need to cut
Mhm.
back in this, or maybe I do need to, push a little bit further here or something like that. Having that realization is an incredible step, and it's not the first step. So
Yeah.
you're already making multiple steps, and you're already at that step too. So please be proud of yourself and know that I'm proud of you
Mhm.
too, because that's a huge step. That absolutely is. By the
Absolutely.
way, happy early birthday. Happy early birthday, man. 34. You're freaking gorgeous, my man. Absolutely beautiful, my boy. You're looking good.
34 going on 45 right now. I'm looking good, feeling good.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. I love it, man. I love it. No, do you remember when I told you I don't have a beard anymore, right? Had to shave it for the cosplays. But when I was growing out my beard, I found a couple little red hairs, a couple, and I was
There
like,
you go. There
I
you
was like, wait a minute. I was like, jow. I was like, wait a minute. I'm getting a jow beard.
go. Yep,
Oh
there you
man.
go.
I
You're
just
doing
I
it.
just found like 3 or 4 little red hairs in there. I was like, golly. Also, by the way, Rise, thank you for joining us. You're not late. You're good. You're good, man. Thank you for joining us. And then Sydney says, felt college messed up the yeah, oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, yeah. When I was in college, I was lucky if I was sleeping, man. I mean, I think that goes for everybody a little bit, Like college messes up something, if it's your sleep schedule
Oh
or
yeah.
oh dude, it's crazy because like the demand of like the workload and all the tests and the places you got to go and like this crazy time crunch you have, something's gonna dwindle a little bit, it's crazy, it's
Yeah.
definitely crazy.
I uh I wouldn't go back to college if you paid me.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's a rough
I
one.
I just remember I was basically like, I mean, if I ever do go back to college, I know for a fact I'm not going back to where I was. I had a really bad experience with that. I had a quite literally life and death situation, and the teachers basically told me, they were like, tough, our tests are due. And I was like, cool. Never
Yeah.
coming back. I was like,
Yeah, no, I don't blame you there.
I
I
I
don't
was
blame
like,
you there.
no exam is worth my life, you know what I mean? But
Yeah.
Yeah, it was crazy, man. It's crazy too because at the end of the day, you got to think like, I mean, there's a lot of aspects of that in life itself where it's like the work is more important, and it's like no, the worker, the person doing the work's
Yeah.
not even gonna get done without the
Well,
person
yeah.
that's doing it. You know, like
Yeah, and I mean, and that's, replaceability, feeling like a cog.
yeah,
That is
yeah,
something that, can start pretty early, and it's pretty nuts. I know I going through that both, remember feeling that in school and now dealing that in my full-time job as well.
yeah, and I believe you posted this on Twitter. There was actually a situation with that, basically about a like a underappreciation or
Oh,
what was
absolutely. Yeah, yeah, and, to elaborate more without giving away too much detail,
yeah,
we did our
absolutely.
yearly reviews, and, um, a few months of, poor performance when I almost lost my dad. My mom called me up and apologized for abandoning me. Our car was stolen, and two other things happened that I've clearly forgotten. It kind of messed me up, and I tried to work through it. I didn't do a very good job. And so 2 months of pretty negative performance was enough to sour 10 months of absolutely stellar work, completely changing the way my team operates, training two individuals, engaging in assisting the company through the largest negative situation they've ever faced. But 2 weeks of me just, or 2 months of me just not being the best employee was enough to sour all of that.
And that's
Um,
insane too. And that's
yeah. And it was one of those situations where it was, oh, we're so happy to have you on this team, but, well,
yeah.
you did this, but, and I'm like, all right, well, once I hear positive but, I now no longer care about what the positive was because I don't believe you truly believe that.
Yeah.
You're just making the but feel nicer.
Yeah, I mean, exactly too. But is such a harsh word too. You know,
Yeah.
it's like you go punch someone in the face. I'm sorry, but you
Yep.
deserved it.
Yep.
And it's like it doesn't
Yeah. I
matter
mean,
if
it's like,
it's like yeah. The moment what was the point of saying you're sorry? Like what?
yeah,
It's
exactly. No, it's like the class is like, I'm not racist, but like, I'm sorry, you did like you didn't need
it's
to
like no.
qualify that. Whatever you're about to say
Yeah, it's
is
like
gonna be racist. Like, yeah.
exactly. It's a no. It's just it's crazy, man. It's crazy how like one thing can completely change all like you said the positives, all the good, right? All
Yeah.
the previous work. You said 10 months of stellar work and
Yeah.
training. You said you were training two people and all
Yeah.
these
I
like
trained two other teammates. I completely modernized the way that my team operated.
mhm,
I spearheaded a completely new way of engaging with our uh, with
clients,
our community,
community, okay.
that instantly saw results. That I believe at the time our CMO, Chief Marketing Officer, took notice and loved. Um, and this was all me. And it was always a team job. It was always a team effort, and I always accepted that. But I know deep down that without me on the team, none of that would have happened. And I had a hard time, and then suddenly it was, yeah, no,
It was
that
it
was
was
it.
it was one of those things where you had to be like, they're not going to be able to function the way they were without me, but also they don't appreciate me, so I need to go do something else.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
cannot be in a situation where you are putting in so much effort and you are not getting the validation that is deserved for that work. You absolutely should be appreciated, you know?
yeah. No, and I
100%.
mean, and I don't, and I mean, of course, like work, content creation. I know for you, this is your job. This is what
Mm.
you want to do, and so there is like a parallel there. And in the one hand, like I don't actually need compliments. I don't even oftentimes need that recognition. What I need is if I do something good, if the company gets more money because of me, I get some of that money too.
Mhm.
If I do incredible things here, I need to see some understanding and some forgiveness that I'm a human and I might make a mistake there.
Right.
And it is this conversation going on back and forth between my organization and myself that I'm not I'm not doing this because I want to. I don't want to wake up at 9 every day or 8 every day, pick up this laptop and go to work. I do it because it allows me to have this computer. It allows me to have all of that back there. It allows me to have the car that I just bought. That's the only reason I'm doing this. Otherwise, I would be so not doing it. And
I
so
definitely hear you on that. I definitely hear you.
when I feel like that conversation, that other hand, like that other person in the conversation isn't holding their end of the bargain, it's hard to give it the effort.
Yeah. No, absolutely. And I definitely understand like what you're saying as well, like not needing compliments all the time, right? But
Mhm.
it's knowing that you did good work, and it doesn't even have to be like verbal, like, Jow, you did good. It's just
Mhm.
you did good, right? And you know that people know you did good, right?
And maybe
But
that's where I think you're right there with the recognition.
mm,
Somebody recognizing, like you don't need
yeah,
to say it. I don't
like
need like
like
a
you
letter or
said,
something,
like you
but
said,
someone seeing it.
like you said with your dad, feeling
Yeah.
seen. Yeah,
Feeling seen.
absolutely. Feeling seen, feeling like you're a part of the conversation. You did
Mm.
something, right? And you did. You devoted a
Mhm.
bunch of time to that work. You were training, a bunch of like a bunch of teammates also, and that work just completely got discredited because you were going through massive life tragedies, and they were just
Yep.
like, sorry, the work has to
Yep.
keep going, and it's like, no, I'm a human being. I'm not a robot. I shut down, I
Yeah.
need to refuel. I need to go home. I need to sleep. I need to take care of me, because if I don't, we can't keep this flow going, you know?
Yeah.
And
Absolutely.
tragedies happen every single day to every single person in one way or another, right? And it's like
Mhm.
you have to be understanding to someone's trauma, you know? You have to be understanding to that, and you have to be like, okay, this person needs some time, you know? Maybe they're not at their best performance right now, but let's appreciate what they did do. And now,
Mhm.
maybe, I don't know, Bob, Sally, Jim, if you guys have the opportunity, try to fill in the role while,
Mm.
X person is, recovering. But
Mm.
that's not how just jobs work. It's not.
It isn't. It
It's
isn't.
it's just
And
there's no
I,
like compassion at all.
yeah, especially and that's I don't know. I don't want to just go on and on all day, but there,
Yeah.
compassion is huge, and I think I know that I am thankful for the world I live in where I put compassion first.
Yeah. Yeah. I
And
like that.
I'm never going to give that up.
I like that. I like that, and I respect that very much, man. Jow, please keep doing that, because
We
hey,
have to. We have to. I mean,
but
the go ahead.
no, I mean, like your dad said, feel seen, feel seen
Yeah.
and make people feel seen, you know? Absolutely.
And that's like I know I am somebody who there are things I want out of this life. There are things that I'm really really thankful for that I've gotten to do, and I want to continue to do them through my hard work. But I am somebody who, if I if I get a chance to climb over a hurdle, one of the first things I want to do is turn around to see if anybody needs help behind me.
Yeah.
Um, I and it goes from actually like doing the best I can to help other people in my community or sharing what I know
Yeah,
or what
sharing the
I've taught.
knowledge. Yeah, the
Sharing knowledge,
experience.
sharing
Yeah.
things like the fact that like I know I don't want this to come off like I'm bragging or anything silly like that. But
No, no,
your
no, go you
21st birthday party where we did the beer review,
mhm.
I don't think a single Voodoo Ranger partner has done that or anything similar to that. I am so I am so thankful that I can set something like that up. Or with I was at PAX West this last year, um, and Wayfinder was having a party there, and one of my long-standing community members is a massive fan of the artist uh, behind a lot of the artwork, and they were giving away a signed poster from this artist. I like the game. They invited me to a party. I'm like, okay, I need to get that. I need to get some signatures, mailed it. And then I got home, mailed it, and sent it back down to Texas where they're from because That's what it's about. The only reason, as a creator, specifically as a creator, I have any of this is because of the people who were there in chat every single day, is people like you who are gassing me up. You know, that is a part of that community. And that's where I go with compassion, where I want to make sure that is always in the forefront because it needs to be.
That's incredible. That's an incredible way of thinking. That's an incredible way of living. And I massively respect it. Also, by the way, I wanted to say the setup looks fantastic. It looks
I was gonna
really
say it
good.
looked a little too dark for a second, then it's looking a little too bright. I don't know.
No, it looks good. I mean, I like it both ways. I mean, I think it looks
Okay.
cool either
You
way.
know, listen, that is it looks better the other way.
No, no, I mean, I like. Wait, actually, wait. Oh, the camera just like focused, like really good.
Oh,
Oh,
that's this lens. This lens is insane.
yeah, no, that was
Uh,
insane.
but
Like the
the lens
detail.
was more than the camera. It's nuts.
Oh yeah, no, I've heard that with like a lot of
Yeah.
cameras, lenses can be nuts.
Yeah.
They can be like 3 times the camera, and I'm like, yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
no, it's nuts. And that was when I mean, when I was on the technology chase with my content and trying to get the best monitors, the best camera gear, the best stuff, the best which is a total lie, by the way. It
Yeah.
was yeah, well, I mean, it was actually kind of funny. It was on a thread from it's a guy named Epos Vox. He does a lot of content creation related content, does a lot of OBS plugin stuff, does, you know,
Oh,
he's a
nice,
cool,
very nice.
cool
A
guy.
lot of like
And I
tutorial
actually really
based.
like him.
Nice.
Yeah, everything from tutorials to acts on how to make your streams look better. And
Nice.
then
Very
now
nice.
he's kind of got this whole um he kind of goes into more like retro VHS style, like
Ooh.
graphics stuff. Guy's pretty cool, and he's got a pretty good Twitter account. Um, and he went on this one thing, this whole tangent about like buying equipment versus like 'cause streaming is one of those things where you can put $1 million in and not see a single viewer.
Yeah. Yeah,
Um,
absolutely.
you know, you mentioned the setup, which I'm really thankful that I have. I'm really happy from, you know, the Voodoo Ranger sign, which is always a good stand piece, to the spear right here that my wife and I made, to one of my favorite musical artist masks right here, to an American gladiator, to a rug of my logo that I made last week.
You
Um,
made
you know,
that last week?
yeah,
That looks
it was nuts.
fantastic.
Something I had never done before.
Oh, that looks
But
really good.
um, yeah. Despite all of that, despite, you know, the lights, the booze, the multiple
The
cameras,
lights,
the
the
lens that I
booze.
was thinking, my highest viewership ever concurrent was when I was streaming with a C920 out of my kitchen.
Yeah.
There was no lights,
Yeah.
no fancy things, nothing whatsoever. It was literally just 3 nights a week, me streaming from my kitchen. And thankfully, I was able to work that in because I was still drinking. So I'd get up and go get a beer, and they could like yell at me while I was going to get a beer. And it was a 2 minute or 2 second walk. You know, it's nuts.
I remember you used to have a bunch of green screens, didn't you? And you used to be able to like literally get up and go to
Yep.
different rooms, but you'd be able to like change the scene, and we'd be able
Yeah.
to
So
see
I
you in
had
other
a
rooms.
floor to, and this room is, I did hook up because when I first moved back into, when I moved into this room, I still have the hookup for the floor to ceiling. So I think it's a 10 by 12 green screen that I can set up
Oh
here
damn.
and completely remove, and everything you're seeing here, and then another 3 feet that way. So I can just remove
Nice.
the entire background. And I used to
Very
have different
nice.
cameras that could catch me at different angles. Once upon a time, this used to be part of my stream setup. So that was right next to my computer. And I had like multiple cameras on there so I could film myself doing that. It was
Oh,
pretty cool.
that's how you showed like creating all the drinks.
That was making all the
Got
drinks.
you.
That was
Okay.
where I did my standing content. And I still, there are days where I miss doing that stuff, but uh, that gets back to the whole economics of streaming. I think that what killed it the most is I had to, one of the things that's really frustrating. This is a huge jump, so apologies if we're
You're good.
just
No,
going.
you're totally fine.
There was a couple cocktails I had planned to go with Monster Hunter Rise.
Ah.
And one of them, because I'm kind of a dum dum, I picked a couple pretty rare ingredients for each drink. And I think in total, because of alcohol tax in the state and there weren't any small bottles, I think I spent around $400 on alcohol.
Ooh.
Um, and I got 15 viewers. And I was like, well, never doing that again. And that was actually the cause for why I moved that over there and why I just use it as another setup. And now I just that's where I do all the real bartender filming when I'm doing that, even though I've
I
taken a break
love
from
those
that.
videos, by the way. Those are
I know I need to be back. I need to
fantastic.
get back on it.
Those are fantastic. Every single like cursed cocktail you make, I love it so
Yeah,
much.
I
Those are
know. I
absolutely
know.
hilarious. Those are absolutely hilarious. And I definitely I hear you on that too. There have been those situations where I've planned something really big and
Mhm.
I was maybe hoping for something
Absolutely.
that didn't turn out the way I would had imagined it. But also that does like I try to also like ground myself in that moment as well and be like, you want to know what? Even if one person felt impacted by what I did,
Mhm.
it made it worth it, you know?
Oh, absolutely.
And I especially like with like I've dedicated myself to making a YouTube short every day throughout the whole rest
Hmm.
of the year, right? And I've
Hmm.
seen oh dude, I've seen some of the nastiest comments, right?
Oh, of course.
I've seen some of the nastiest comments. I've seen some of like just the rudest things people can say, but I've also seen wow, dude, I wasn't expecting to see the mask today. This is really cool. You know,
Hmm.
oh, wow. Hey, bro, might actually be Clark Kent. That was cool. That was a nice transition. Or like, and it's like, you want to know what, man? Whether it's like actual negativity, a bunch of that, or if it's just like low exposure, but that one person sees it, that one person sees it, that one person gets impacted, it like it makes me like I'm just like trust it is it's really hard. It's
Hmm.
really, really freaking hard, especially when you have like a pretty overall understanding of how a stream or a video may do, and then it underperforms, and you're just like,
Yeah.
damn, especially if you put more effort than you would, right? Into
Hmm.
a stream. Not saying you put like low effort, right? But you go way above, like you said, you spent like $400
Hmm.
and then it didn't turn out the way you wanted it to. And it's like, damn, So
Yeah. No, and that's like the other thing. Like I think you know that mindset, like and of one like just putting out content.
mhm,
That is the bare minimum. But it is also what I've noticed the first thing, even in my journey, that gets put on the back burner. It is easy to be like,
mm,
well, I need new emotes. I need new graphics.
yeah,
I need this. I need
yeah,
that. I need to try and play this game. I need to try and do that. When it's not, it's content. You need to put out content.
yeah. And
And,
the
I'm
thing
really looking forward to seeing if you can like track where you're at now versus where you have been after doing shorts every single day.
I
Because I think it'd be really interesting.
so that's something actually really interesting that you said. I want to elaborate on that a little bit more from what I've experienced. I've noticed that like for the longest time, I always thought, I mean, and this is something that you're always told from like big creators too. You got to be niche. You got to find your
Hmm.
niche. You got to do that one thing, that one game, that you got to be in this place. As you know, we were for a very long time, and
Yep,
we saw good, progress and
absolutely.
and things from that. And then the moment we left, we saw a dwindling. We saw,
Exactly.
um,
It rings true. And I literally tweeted about Dauntless today. 'Cause,
yeah,
you know, I know, and that comment about me being in the kitchen, that's where I started streaming Dauntless.
yeah.
And as of I have not okay, so for the last year and a half, I have had a lower CCV than my first month of streaming.
Wow.
And to be fair, I was like, I feel like I won a lottery with my broadcast.
Hmm.
because of just how quickly I was able to kind of like snatch people up in the Dauntless directory. And of course, that's really like, I'm really privileged in that aspect. Like, it really like kind of propelled me. And it is kind of nuts, like looking over metrics and being like, damn, I did better when no one knew who I was than
Yeah.
the 4,000 or so followers I have, the 2,000 or so Twitter followers I have, the, you name it, on YouTube, TikTok, Instagram. Like, I am doing better. I'm doing worse than when no one knew who I was.
And I think so. I think with that, it's also, I think a part of that is, man, this is oh man. I think part of that also is understanding that in streaming, in content creation, we've heard a lot of
Mhm.
do's and don'ts. And a lot of
Yep.
us kind of like structured how we're going to make content off of that, you know? Like everybody remembers the Harris Heller, you got to go get a Sony A5100 and you got to get this
Yep.
lens and you got to go get
Yep.
this camera and this thing and do this and this is how you be a streamer, right? And then it's like you
Mhm.
have 10,000 people with this setup that are streaming for two people, you know?
Yep.
Because they haven't developed themselves as the content. And that is something
Absolutely.
that like I got so stuck in this for so long because I would like chase a game. I would chase a game. I would chase a
Mhm.
niche. I would do this one specific thing. And I was like, okay, so this is I got to do informative content on this game, you know,
Mhm.
and I can't make a video because I haven't played the game, you know, so I got to keep playing the game to get better to make another informative tutorial video about it, and then well actually I don't really feel like playing the game today, but no I have to because I got to get that video out, and it's
Yep.
like it became it wasn't fun, you know?
Yeah.
And I noticed that I got so burnt out on games and I would just go from one to the next to the next to the next to the next. And
Mhm.
I was like, this can't be how you make content. I was like, this can't be how you make this cannot be like the standard for how you make content. But it
Yeah.
is. That is
It
you get
is. It is.
into you get into content creation, you hear from all the big content creators, oh yeah, just stream Fortnite for 12 hours a day and be funny and be slightly good and you're going to have a community. No, that
Yeah.
is that may have worked 9 years ago. It doesn't work anymore.
Mhm.
And in just in the last 3 years, the things that worked in 2020 don't work now, you know?
No, I mean,
Like,
we have less people watching Twitch
yeah,
now than
yeah.
there. Like, that pandemic viewership, which I even got. I mean, I'm sure everybody saw some benefactor
Hmm.
of. It's gone, and now a lot of those people are streamer themselves.
Yep.
It is, and that's another thing. Like, every year, the cost to entry into broadcasting is smaller.
Yeah.
Um, there are TikTok streamers with nothing but their phone and uh, shit they have lying around the house,
Hmm.
that pull in 5,000 viewers.
Yeah.
And that's something it's not even something they had to go out and buy specifically for that. It is something they use every day.
Hmm.
And I'm sitting here with, I'm sure your machine is several $1,000s. I used to have 4 monitors, but one just died. I know you just had a dead monitor as
Yep.
well. Like, so it is, that cost. And then, so the competition every year is more. The, the stuff that the majority of people want to watch is changing. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know if you're familiar with the NPC streams on
Yep.
TikTok.
I was gonna say something about that. Yeah.
If
Yep.
if that's the future of broadcasting, I don't want to broadcast anymore.
Yeah.
I'm leaving. I'm gonna go do anything else.
Yeah.
Um, when I see an XQC clip pop off and he does something either mildly funny, I'm like, okay, I don't want to just harp on him. He did something that actually made me laugh, so I'm gonna make sure I'm gonna give him the butt comment that I was talking about earlier, where I'm gonna praise him, then say butt, and then he was playing Forza, and he had gotten like, so I guess he famously doesn't have a driver's license.
Oh wow.
Um, and so he was playing Forza, and he's like driving, and he drives into a wall, and he's got a steering wheel out, and he puts it into reverse, and he turns around and looks behind him as though he's like, you know, that was it was hilarious. Like I loved it. Even if like but he also had that weird stuff with the cleaning ladies where they were
Oh yeah,
cleaning his room
yeah,
while he was live, and apparently it was absolutely disgusting, and he embarrassingly is typing to his chat because he can't, like, it was like, if that's what I got to do, if that's like, I'm not doing it. I don't want to
yeah,
play that game. Like,
yeah,
I don't want to be seen as a human piece of garbage in order to get money from teenagers. Like,
yeah.
no way.
No, yeah, yeah. Absolutely. No, definitely. I hear you. Like you said, every single year the bar is raising in a way. The entry is changing and
Mhm.
the interest is changing as well. Before we continue that, I want to continue that. We're like we got
Yeah, I
steam
know.
going. We got steam going. I'm like I just want to keep like I haven't even asked you a single question that I had. We just
All right. Let's pause
like
it.
no.
Let's go.
This is fantastic. This is no like this could not go even better. This is
Mhm.
absolutely incredible. I'm loving every single second of this. Thank you for your time. Really
Yeah.
quickly, I want to say, so I want to make sure I'm reading the chat messages as well. Beardo says bad management 101, but not a lot of managers really upsell their workers come review time. True. Very true. Very, very true. I actually have an experience about that I'll tell you about really quickly. So I had when I was working at retail, I had a manager that took a liking to me, kind of, sort of, right? He was pretty cool for the most part. And basically it was time for a raise. We were kind of told, hey, over the next week or two, maybe everybody's gonna be, getting a raise, all this kind of stuff, right? So we were kind of briefed on this, but we were also told like it was probably only gonna be like the managers, it might have been only been, the people that are the full time. So it was kind of weird. It was kind of weird. It was kind of out there. We knew maybe to expect it, maybe not, right? Well, on a glorious Tuesday, no, I don't know what day it was. Uh, I get called in the office on like some 007 stuff, right? Like dude calls me into the office. And he's like, "Psst, psst, come here, come here, come here, come here, come here, shh, 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 come here," and he like all secret like, shh, 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 shh. He's like, "All right, I want you to know, you're doing great, you're doing fantastic. And I need you out there. You're killing freight. Like you're putting freight out there like crazy. Like you're doing so good, all this kind of stuff. I'm gonna give you a raise because you're doing good, but I need you to keep up that work ethic. What you're doing right now. I'm gonna give you this raise, but I need you to keep it going too. Like I can't give you this raise when you're doing this good and then you slow down." And I was like, "Oh yeah, sure." I was like, "Okay, I was recognized. Oh my god, right?" And I walk out of that office and then I see every other single employee that I worked with, associate, go in and get the same check, exact same
Mhm.
check. And I was like, why do you hype me up? For what reason? I was like, you just upsold me like so
Mhm.
much, like gassed me up, and then you did the exact same thing for everybody else. I
Yep.
was like, did you think like my self-esteem was low or like what? I was like, what was that? What was that?
Yep.
And I never got to ask him, but I was like, that just it shocked me because I was like, I just got like special treatment for show.
Yeah.
I,
I
I
mean,
was
that's all
like,
it was. That was all it was. It was
yeah,
just business.
yeah. I was like, wow. But literally every other person I was working with got the exact same amount, if not more. Even the people that were doing far less work than I was. And I was like, it was literally a mandatory raise. He just wanted to make me feel special in the moment. And I was like,
There you go.
wow. I was like, damn, that's crazy. But yeah,
Yeah,
management.
that's crazy.
Man- management in itself, the saying is very true. People don't quit jobs, they quit managers.
Hmm.
You might quit a job. There might be a job itself that is just trash, right? But most of the time, I think a lot of people quit managers.
Well, and and I would say most of the time, jobs that are bad are probably caused by bad managers.
Mhm. Yeah.
I mean, there are
I mean,
jobs
because
that
there has to
probably.
be a form of leadership, right? And if the leadership is lacking, you know what I mean? It's only gonna
Absolutely.
be it's gonna be a matter of time before all the cards fall. So It was an experience for sure. I'll tell you, I'll definitely tell you that.
I bet.
Sydney said the sleeping TikTok streams, like what? Yeah, I've been seeing that so much more. Like I see it on Twitch too. I'm only sleeping. Like
Oh yeah, I
I've
mean,
seen a
I see
couple of
that
those.
doing subathons, and
Yeah,
then people who will like rig up noises to certain
yeah, yeah.
amounts of lights and stuff to bits and subs and stuff like that.
I saw.
Which
I've scrolled past a couple of these. I've seen them. There are people that will go to like Home Depot or wherever, and they'll go get like Halloween
yeah,
spooky animatronics, and they'll put them next to their bed. They got like light up demon
hmm
eyes and all that,
hmm
and then they'll be sitting there at 4 in the morning, and someone's playing like fart with reverb noises, right? And they're like sitting in bed, like, oh,
yeah.
just let me sleep, right? And it's like, why would you even do that to yourself? Like, why? I don't get it. Why would you like? That's such a personal thing. You know what I mean? Like, sleeping. That's
I
like
mean, I
I
have a feeling. I don't know. I have a hard time trusting any of it these days.
yeah.
You know, it probably. I mean, some of them are real. Some of them are obviously fake. I also that is like I already feel the pressure to monetize anytime I'm playing a video game.
Mm,
The last thing I want to do is feel the pressure to monetize my one break in this entire planet.
yeah.
That is the only break you will ever get, by the way. Like,
Yeah.
is sleeping. That's your time. And
Exactly.
if you want to monetize that, and go for it. I don't.
Yeah. Me. Yeah. Me too. I mean, you gotta have you time. If
Hmm
it's
Yep.
sleeping or if it's like it doesn't matter. You have to have you time. Also, there has to be a cutoff time. If you're working or if you're doing something that you are genuinely passionate about, which could also
hmm
be your work, you could be genuinely passionate about your work, right? There has to be a cutoff time. There has to be an unplugged time. There has to be you time, family time, just get away time. Go drive
Yep.
up into the mountains and just hear the birds chirp and like get away. Like it's okay to be away from constant sound and movement, and that's okay, right? But it seems like I don't know, just technology nowadays and where content's going, it's like even the most private areas of your life are just put on full display for people to throw money at. And it's
Yep.
like you were saying, if that's where content's going, that ain't where my content's
I
going. I'm
want. Yep. I want
sorry.
out.
I
I
yeah,
want out. Yeah.
like that is I will not follow that trend. I'm sorry, I need my sleep and I probably sleep like a rock. You know what I mean? I don't need anybody seeing
Mm.
that.
Yep.
You know what I
Yep.
mean? Oh man. Also, by the way, Richard, what's going on, man? How you doing? Welcome, welcome. Thank you for joining us. Um, Alrighty, but seriously, Jao, thank you for these incredible moments, man. Seriously, thank you. Thank
Absolutely,
you for
man.
your insight. Also, I really appreciate you. Thank you for explaining this from your point of view. I'm gonna try to rattle off a couple of these because
Okay.
we got a couple of these, and I don't want to take up too much of your time. So, first one, what is your earliest memory of creating gaming content? Was there an inspiration that led you to it, or your own first piece of content that kind of just really put you in that thought?
Yeah. So, earliest piece of content that I created that kind of put me into doing it was making anime music videos on Windows
Hmm.
Movie Maker. um, you're a little. So once upon a time, I was just in
You're
these.
a little too young back in the day.
Yeah, once back in my day. No, you would
Yeah.
just be in these like internet chat rooms, and people would be making anime music videos, DBZ and Naruto.
I love me some DBZ, man. Dragon Ball's so
Yeah,
good. Oh, it's so good. I love
and
Dragon Ball.
just taking Linkin Park songs and
Linkin
making
Park
anime
songs.
music videos out of it. Yeah,
Burning
cutting up
CDs,
stuff,
baby.
and that was like the first stuff I ever uploaded to YouTube. And shortly after that, I mean, we're talking half a decade after that, um, I found that god awful game League of Legends, um, and got super invested in League of Legends content creators. And and it's kind of fun. Like I actually still talk to a couple of them to this day. Like I don't really watch their content very much. I don't care for League at all. But so yeah, I doubt they'll ever see this. But shout out Foxdrop. Um, like I watched that guy from my community college days all the way through my education into getting my first full-time job. Still watching him.
Wow.
Like we're talking like 4.5 years subscription at some points. Like
Wow.
it was cool. It was really, really neat. And then so yeah, I was really inspired to create League of Legends content. So that was the first game that I kind of dove in on. They weren't very good because I'm really not very good at League of Legends. Uh, and then it shifted over into Overwatch when I moved to Korea.
Ah. Who was
And
who was your main?
so I made Diva.
Ooh.
Um,
Okay.
and the two fun facts about me is my original logo was based on Diva. The
Oh, her freak.
her little bunny face. I
Yeah.
just did mine with a beard.
Yo, I never.
Yeah.
If you didn't
Fact,
tell me
hold
that, I never would have
Hold on
thought.
1 second.
Never would have thought. Christy, thank you for joining us. Welcome in. Hello, how you doing? Welcome, welcome. Hopefully you're doing well. Oh,
Yeah, you can see it.
there
right
it is.
there.
Oh my God.
Obviously, some creative differences.
Wow.
And Revy Rad was the one who made it.
Really?
Yeah, he designed it for me.
You and Revy, you
Yeah.
guys have been long time homies. Long time homies. That's what's up. That's what's up, man.
Yeah, no, he is. He helped me out a lot. I actually started watching his stream before I ever streamed myself, and he was like one of the first people I reached out to about it. And yeah, so I actually dove hard into Korea or in Overwatch in Korea, and I was high diamond chasing top 3% over
Damn.
there. I had like a 65% win ratio on Diva. I was talking to esports teams when I was moving back to the US about trying to get into the like kind of like the surrounding leagues there. And yeah, I realized I absolutely hated myself playing that video game.
Why?
Yeah,
Was it
'cause
just
it was really
ranked?
stressful.
Ah,
Um,
yeah.
I mean, I was still working a full-time job, so a couple hours a day, I would go and I would try and like either record, try and get some content, or grind to try and rank up. And I couldn't separate my inability to climb with uh, who I was outside. So if I had a really bad day or a really bad week of trying to climb, it would ruin my day. It would ruin my weekend. It
Yeah.
would I would feel like I was a lesser person. And I realized that's one, I have a full-time job and a career that I'm working on. Really can't be doing something that completely takes over my life. Um, and I don't know. I have to say it this way because I don't know. I don't remember what YouTube's policy is. I
Mm.
also got told to unalive myself 30 to 40 times a day, and I was kind of sick of that.
Yeah.
Like I just,
Yeah.
I really, and even today, like, if I'm playing a video game and somebody like, there's somebody on my team or something, I start getting that, I'll just leave. I
Yeah.
will leave mid-match. I don't care.
Absolutely.
Counter Strike, any other like team-based shooter. Nope, I refuse to do it.
Well, Jao, I want to tell you, man, I love you.
Mm-hmm.
As a survivor of said things,
Mm-hmm.
I'm very happy that we're able to have this conversation. I'm happy
Oh,
that you're
likewise.
here.
Likewise.
I'm very happy that you're here, man. I'm very happy that you didn't let the intrusive thoughts
Likewise.
get to you.
Well,
and I'm-
they were never my thoughts. Don't worry, they were never my thoughts. Just the thoughts of my Korean teammates.
I got you. I got you. Sometimes when you have like heavy pressure coming down on you,
Oh, yeah.
it can just be that voice in your head. It could be someone else's voice, right? And it can kind of blend with yours, and it can kind of make it think like it's yours.
Yeah.
You know?
And
it's
so
scary.
so the way it kind of worked is not like trying to. So most often when you're playing against somebody in a Korean server, more than likely they're not using their personal computer or their family computer. They're at a PC bomb, which means they're paying to play that game.
Hmm.
And so they were how do I say this? It was a very, very hardcore scene. So on top of people wanting to play Overwatch at a higher level, they were also really, really stingy about being there because they were paying to be there. And I ended up getting a team of people, and I always would leave voice chat because I didn't speak Korean. I was just trying to play the game. Um, and we end up getting crushed. And another thing is, if they think they're going to lose, they just want to lose right away. That way, they can get
Yeah.
into the next game since they only have an hour or two.
Yeah.
So one or two missed ults, you get a bunch of dies, and then they will just rage quit. And I was not playing particularly well that day, and I tried to like force play for like an extra hour and a half, 2 hours, and I kept getting the same group of people because there just aren't that many people to play with. And by some point, they were all angry. They're all pointing fingers, and I start getting taken the blame, probably because I made a mistake or something. And it ended up where some of the members of that original team uh, learned that they assumed that I was a foreigner because I had an English name. And somebody could speak English, so they were typing out, off yourself, diva, off yourself, diva. Um, Then we get into a next match, and some of that team are on the opposing team, and some of that is on the other team. Uh, the other people taught everyone else what they were saying and why they were saying it, and I had 11 people spamming "off yourself, diva," and that is a very nice way of putting what they said. Um, and like they were not even playing the game; they were all just spamming what that. And I closed my laptop. I took a shower, and I was like, "All right, well, I don't think I ever want to play another video game ever again. I think I think that's it. I think I'm like done. Um, and that to spin it around to be a bit more positive, I made a pact with myself that I would primarily focus on single player games and games that didn't involve PvP, and that's how I found Dauntless. So
Wow.
I went from Overwatch, where I was, hyper competitive with that, into Dauntless, was just this fun, chill game where, for the most part, people were nice, and if they weren't, well, we're fighting a robot. Like, who cares?
Yeah.
Like, chill.
Yeah.
Like, right?
Yeah.
And it was night and day. It changed everything, and that was how and that's going back to how I started making content because I thought it was so easy to make content for a game where if you wanted to recreate what Nasher slide, or at this time Nasher didn't have the slide. If you wanted to recreate, what the what's the wolf's name?
Oh.
Uh,
Yeah, I know I know what you're talking about. I know what you're talking about.
yeah, I can't.
The fire doggo?
Yeah, the fire doggo, or what you call it that. If you
Uh,
wanted to recreate tripping the fire dog so you could practice it, you could just load up a solo hunt, do it, and if it didn't work, well, wait for the next one. No one's
mhm.
gonna cuss you out. No one's gonna yell at you. Nobody's gonna do anything. And it was just like I can get into this pattern where it was easy. Like I could just stream it, and then I could record it if I wanted to. And so I put out a couple of videos, did a couple of things, and then the Pike came out, which is
Yeah.
I literally based my entire initial concept around that Pike, and it worked really well for me.
Wow.
And so that is a really, really roundabout way of answering that question about.
Wow. Well, Joe, I never knew that about you.
Yeah.
I there I always wondered why you played a lot of single player games because I've always
Mm,
played single player games. Like I've loved single player games, but when it came to streaming, I was always about like playing with other people. And of
mhm,
course, I've seen negativity, toxicity,
yeah.
crazy. Like I've seen some crazy stuff, right? But I always just kept playing, or I would go like change games or whatever. And then when I met you, I met you through Dauntless, right?
Mhm,
But as the time goes on of knowing you, I was like, I see he's playing a lot of like single player games. I was like, I wonder
yeah.
why. I was like, goes from Dauntless to single player games, and I never knew why. And
Yeah.
I appreciate you very much for feeling comfortable to talk about that.
Yeah.
And I'm also incredibly sorry that you had to go through that at all. Nobody should have to go through that at all. No one should
Yeah.
have to go through that. No one should have to be told that. Um,
Mhm.
And again, I'm very happy that you made it through that, and you were able to close the laptop, go away, go
Mm,
do something else, go do something productive, and not allow that pressing feeling of negativity and hate to get to you. Because I know that there are many situations where it does get to you,
absolutely,
and
absolutely.
you know,
And I think, and one of the things I'm really thankful for is I was able to step away instead of joining it,
yeah,
because
yeah,
if I could tell you right now, like if I had just joined in on it, rather like, and it's really easy to kind of like, it is easy to be swept up and say things you don't really mean and don't want to say. And, I am thankful that I realized that at least in my corner of the universe, I'm not going to participate in this, and I'm not going to allow it in my spaces either.
I
And,
like that.
that's an ongoing conversation as well, because we do know that clapping back, toxicity, being a bit sassy on stream is a good recipe for success as well.
Yeah.
And, I have a friend of mine. He decided his enemy was going to be Keemstar, rightfully
Oh,
so. And the dude just used to like, I mean, to be fair, he was magical. Like he wrote songs about dissing Keemstar. He was like in every thread. He had a pretty large following. He's doing a really good job as well. Um, just incredible work, incredible work. And the way he tells the story is he was uh, asking his wife um, her opinion on something he was writing, um, to shit on Keemstar. And she looked at him and she's like, "That sounds like something Keemstar would write." And he was like, "Well, I'm done with that. Like, I don't want to do that anymore." And just instantly that day dropped it. He was like, "Wait a minute. Yeah, he's not wrong. Keemstar gets online and he makes fun of people. He airs dirty laundry. That's his whole thing." And he realized he was doing the exact same thing, just at Keemstar, who, while admittedly might deserve it, isn't going to bring him happiness. It's not going to make him good. I mean, what? Uh, Best case scenario, Keemstar deletes every single piece of social media he's ever done. He just disappears off the face of the earth. Great. We have one less asshole on this website, and I guarantee you another one's going to fill its place.
yeah. And it seems like at this rate, that's quadrupling by the hour.
Yeah.
Yeah. Man, that actually is a really positive note to end that story on, to
Yeah.
basically be like, wow, I never thought of it that way. Okay, I'm gonna do something different. That's
Yeah.
And I mean, sometimes it takes that too. Sometimes it takes that family member or that
Hmm.
sibling, relative, whatever, close friend, complete stranger, to just be like,
Hmm.
you think about that twice, and you're just like,
Yeah.
damn, like, yeah, that's uh,
No.
that's very well, golly. Um, Beardo said their thoughts become your thoughts if you, yeah, yes,
Absolutely.
about yeah, they definitely can be. They definitely you definitely can be in a situation where someone else's thoughts become your thoughts, and the negativity weighs down on you so much that you may give in to what it is saying. And I was
Or
in
start to believe it, or
Yep,
take it and.
I was in a position like that, and I said to myself, I can never be here again. I can never. Life in itself is precious. Every single life is precious. What you decide to do with it depends, right? Life in itself is precious, but you can go and ruin a bunch of other people's lives. As that's unfortunately, some people choose to do not very nice things with the life that they've been given, but um every life in itself is very precious. So,
Mhm.
um, you know, it is very important to, at the end of the day, try your absolute hardest to triumph over the negativity, and realize that you deserve to be here. You do. Alrighty.
Absolutely.
So I got a question for you here. How has beer influenced gaming and vice versa in your time of content creation? So how has beer influenced gaming, and
Yeah.
how has gaming influenced beer?
Yeah. So and you may have heard this story already. I'm not totally sure, but I am not technically adopted. But when I was 18, I was a high school dropout, and a bunch of people who had no real reason to care about me did. Two of those people include the people I call mom and dad to this day, and um, I ended up getting to live with them, and uh, my dad is big on beer. He was brewing it, he was trying it, uh, and through him, uh, he would let me try different beer. He would like go out and he would like go to different rare bottle shops. And I say this back in my day, the beer scene in 2008, 2009, 2010 is not what it's like now.
Mhm.
Um, the microbrewery spot a in a grocery store was maybe one or two six packs. Everything else would Budweiser, Bud Light. Like the whole
Really?
idea of you would have to go to a specialty bottle shop to get some of these kind of like what I now consider standard beers.
Mhm.
You would have to go searching for them, and so it was an experience. Whatever he would bring home, and I didn't realize this until I'm much older, but he saw that I had an appreciation for it. And among doing other things for me, one of the reasons why he was letting me enjoy beer with him is he was trying to teach me that I deserve nice things and found something that I enjoyed. And this was his thing. It was going to take work, it was going to be hard, but this was his way of telling me that I deserve nice things. And so I'll always have a specific connection, specifically to a any sort of incredibly hoppy, dry West Coast style IPA. I have a hard time not losing a tear or two whenever I crack one open because it makes me think of days on the porch brewing beer with my dad, realizing that I don't deserve to live in a trailer. I don't deserve to be dreaming my entire life. I deserve to have nice things. And so when it came to content creation, I already knew that it is a staple in my life. Um, I had seen, so this was in 2017, I think my April 2017 was my very first stream. By that point, I had seen some of the major content creators of that era getting blacked out drunk, just absolutely disgustingly
Yeah.
drunk on
Yeah.
stream.
I
Um,
I saw a couple of those, yeah.
yeah, and I realized that, like, like I want to. One, I already knew that I was going to be doing this anyway, so I knew I was going to be doing it what I considered ethically and what I hoped would be through um, positive reinforcement, and with the goal of getting beer sponsorships. I didn't see any beer sponsorships on Twitch. There was really nothing going on, and so I thought, I made one of my goals to get paid to drink some beer on the internet, and I also knew that this was me getting off work and unwinding, playing games, and the camera happened to be on. So fuck, I'm gonna have a beer. I was gonna be drinking anyway, so and it kind of just evolved, and I already knew I was chasing kind of an older audience from the get go. Um, the cocktail thing kind of came later, um, and you know, uh, it was just a situation where then I realized like it become a conversation where like, okay, what are you drinking today, Joe? Like that became a topic of conversation for most streams. So then I was like, okay, well, I shouldn't be drinking the same thing every stream. I should go look for different beers. I should try all these different things. And there's a rating website. It's basically the Yelp for beer. It's called Untapped. I'm
Oh,
not sure if you're
snap.
familiar.
No.
It literally you just make a profile and then you rate the beers you drink.
Nice.
Um, and
Can you leave,
I
like,
don't have an account.
comments as well? And,
Yeah,
like, you
yeah,
can
yeah.
see
So
what.
you like talk about
Yeah,
like it's
cool.
literally Yelp for beer. Um,
Nice.
I don't have an account, even though I probably should have made one about a decade and a half ago, but I don't. Um, and it became like I just treated my stream like that. So I'd be playing games and drinking and talking about it, and um, then it started getting to the point where people were coming to me for beer, where they would at me in my Discord and be like, "Yo, I'm at the grocery store. What do I get?" And I kind of liked being that. I liked having that experience. And then, of course, working with Voodoo Ranger has just been game changing. Like they've both helped me legitimize myself and giving me a peek into a world that I never would have had otherwise. They helped me realize my dream with paying me to drink beer on the internet, which is what I wanted to do in the first place. And I mean, the reality is like I'm going to be drinking beer well after I stop playing video games, let alone when I have to stop streaming. So
Yeah.
that was always going to be there because that's just kind of a part of like what I enjoy doing.
And it's something that ties back to you and your dad, and
Yeah,
that's
and that
very
helped.
that's very wholesome. That's very wholesome. That's
Yeah, of
very sweet, man. Thank you very much for explaining that and
course.
kind of taking us down memory lane. That was really
Yeah.
cool. I was choking back a tear, man. I'm not gonna lie. When you said you were sitting on the porch and you were brewing beer with your dad,
Yeah,
I was like,
yeah,
bro,
I was
I was, dude. Oh man, your dad sounds really cool, man. He seems,
he's a good one. He's a good one.
yeah,
Um, and it's hard not to think about the good times.
yeah, definitely, my man, definitely. I just want to give you a hug, man. One day,
Well,
one day, man,
one day, maybe come
one
up
day.
for a PAX West. Come up for a
Yeah,
PAX West next year.
I would love to.
Fly
TwitchCon,
up. I'll pick you up from the
you
airport.
know, TwitchCon, PAX, something, definitely.
TwitchCon happens during my wife's birthday, so that's really hard
Ah,
for me.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Definitely, that's a priority. That is
Yep.
100% the
Yep.
priority.
Nope. Yep.
You
Sorry.
gotta be there.
Actually, not sorry.
Yeah,
I'm not
exactly. I
sorry.
mean, yeah, you gotta be there for the wifey. Come on now,
Yep.
absolutely. All right. After years of gaming and trying a
Yep.
wide variety of beers, what would you say is your favorite chilled game and your favorite beer to accompany said game?
Mm,
Is there like a specific beer for a specific game? Like if you had like a specific just kind of chill
Interesting.
game,
Yeah.
like maybe I don't know, if you had like a very specific beer for like Dauntless for a time,
Yeah.
what would it be? Or like something like that.
So, uh, my absolute favorite easy drinking beer is a local beer um, from Bale Breaker, and it's their Pilsner. Um, it is just uh, the beer is not anything groundbreaking other than it just being the perfect example of what a Pilsner is. Light, easy to drink, really fun, low ABV. And my absolute favorite game to drink and play is American Truck Simulator.
Yes, dude. Yes.
With the wheel, with full wheel, stick shift.
I remember
The,
I
with
raided you one
the
night.
pit vipers
Yep.
just.
Yep. I remember I raided you. Do you keep those bad boys on deck? You just keep those
Well, I've
on the
got that
desk?
one, and then I moved them over there for some reason, but I got my star ones too. I used to keep another one.
Oh man,
Awesome.
that is great. That is you can just
that
whip
is
those bad
one of
boys
the
out at any
best.
time.
Yeah, one of the absolute best drinking games. Obviously, you get the humor with the drinking and driving, which, by the way, do not do. Don't
Mhm.
anybody listening. That's bad. But you also like it is a cozy game.
Mhm.
If you're following the rules, uh, you're not doing high APMs. Like you're not putting in a ton of actions per minute. You get to just talk. You get to just hang out. You can let the music flow. You can kind of just. There was one. I wish I had a clip of this, and I'm so stupid I didn't. Like, I was like playing, and I had a hat on, and and I was getting into it, and I just said, "Yeah, I'm gonna roll down the window," and turned on a fan blowing at my so my hair was kind of blowing in the wind.
Oh,
And it was a gag I did once,
that is
and I never did again
fantastic.
because I'm an idiot.
That is
'Cause
that is absolutely fantastic.
yeah,
Wow. Wow, that I remember I rated out to you one night when you were doing
yeah,
exactly such. And let me tell you what, dude, every single time, I remember when you would do like house reviews, you would go
Yeah.
on like
Oh
the
my
goo.
gosh,
Oh
the
my
house
god,
is
they were so
so good.
funny, dude. I
I
remember,
know.
I remember there was this one time you were reviewing this house, and it had a mirror like right next to the door, and you're like, you could just walk in and just donger right there, and I was like. I had never heard anything
Yeah.
like that before, bro. And I
Yeah.
just started dying. It was so funny. It was so funny. But like from Dauntless, I remember your snowball fights on
Yeah.
Dauntless when they
Oh
the
my, that was
yeah,
yeah, the
yeah,
winter events just
yeah. The what did they call f- uh the Festival of Ramsgate? Was that what it's called?
I think so.
Or Winter in Ramsgate? So it was something like that.
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah, but I remember your snowball fights in Dauntless and how fun those were. Just watching that and wanting to be a part of that. I remember your like Google reviews, like looking at houses and
Yeah.
all the
Yeah.
funny commentary
Good
and like
times, man.
all
Good
that
times.
stuff. And then of course American, truck driver
American
simulator as
Gladiator, yeah.
well.
Oh, yeah, American Truck Simulator, yeah, yeah.
Yes. Yes, I remember we love lightning and thunder and
Yeah.
I don't know,
Yep.
like Thor or like all the
Yep.
different ones you'd call out and you'd be like, yeah, hell yeah, brother. You drinking
Hell
a
yeah,
beer.
brother, let's go. Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, that shit was just,
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
good times, and I still like doing that, but, I mean, I don't stream that much.
Yeah.
I really just don't.
And
Um,
I'll tell you what too, man, like getting to know you, like you kind of like clock when people go live and like how
mhm,
long they're going to be live. So when I don't see someone live, it hurts. It hurts,
I
man, cuz
know.
I'm just like I was like, "Wow, I haven't seen, XYZ person live in, X amount of time." And then it's like you see them live and you're like I will drop everything I'm doing to go check on that person. Like if I have not seen somebody
Yeah.
live in a long time and I get that notification, I will drop everything I'm doing to be like, hey, like,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
what are we drinking tonight? Like dude, time, every time I see you go live, I get happy. I get
Yeah.
excited every time. I get because I know it's gonna be a good time. I know it's gonna be a good time. It's just good vibes. So seriously, if you can, please keep doing that.
Oh, yeah.
You
I
got a
don't plan
fan.
on changing.
You got a fan, man. For real. You got a fan and a friend. I'll tell you that for sure. Um, did you always want to create gaming content, or was it something that really sparked over the last 3 to 4 years? Was like keeping it going? Not in the
Yeah.
beginning when you said you were making like the music videos, right?
Mhm.
Did it start all the way back then? You're like, I can really do this, or was it something where you were like, this was really just the last like 3 4 years? Where you're like, oh, I can really do this, and I can like keep this up.
So, uh, initially, it was literally I wanted to be the next League of Legends superstar.
Yeah,
Um, reality hit, and I was like, that ain't happening.
yeah,
Overwatch kind of gave me um, a boost, thinking, oh my gosh, maybe I can do this. But really, it's always just been the most easily accessible, fun, creative outlet that I
yeah,
have.
yeah.
Um, I, while I'm not the most creative person, I do consider myself a creative person. Um, I little secret, silly little fact of me. I'm a published poet.
Really?
I have a degree in creative writing with an emphasis on poetry. I have done readings. I have been involved in either group presentations or going to poetry to read. I've done slam performances. Uh, I love poetry, and I took a year outside of college to try and get some stuff like kind of published, see if I could make a living doing it. Never really popped off, and so kind of just creating content, whether it was YouTube videos, live streaming, became this kind of secondary thing, or like this other outlet I had. And then one day, and I say this, but I haven't truly learned this, that I hate editing videos. I would
Yeah.
rather, um, trying to think of a less grotesque way to say this. I would rather just like not do it
Yeah.
I would rather just never do it again than edit videos. I do sometimes because I don't know why. Because I just don't. I'm not very good at it. I don't like it. I don't find any enjoyment. I don't have a passion to get better at it.
Mhm.
But I do like live streaming. I like having this like that one-on-one or that instant connection with somebody going
Yeah.
back and forth, having that conversation. I thrive in that environment where I'm feeling I'm up on my stage doing my something, working back and forth with people in my chat, working with people in game, having that. And so it kind of just became the most easily accessible, logical way for me to create and be creative. And I do the same thing with the cars that I have. I do the same thing with lots of stuff. And so it really wasn't gaming specifically. It just became the most easily, most easy, um,
Way of
most easy way for
expressing
me to
your
express myself.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like that. I really that's a fantastic answer. Thank you. Thank you very much, my man. Also, I do want to say the videos and like the shorts that you have made, I love them. Every single one of
Yeah.
them. They're like from Tarkov to everything that
Oh,
you've
yeah.
done,
Some of them are all
absolutely
right.
incredible. Also, I freaking love the one with you, Revy, and me, Breaker
That
Five
is
Nine. We
That
got
is without a doubt my favorite one I've made this year. I
it.
rewatched that one
Yeah,
on the regular
yeah.
because you could tell I could hear it in your voice as you were giggling when you saw me flying over, and I started falling. I think you could see that no way hitting that.
I literally said if you miss, like, oh man, dude, oh bro, I'm laughing so much, man. My whole face is turning red.
I know that was
Oh man, good
I
times.
rewatched that one a lot.
Such good times, man. So many good times. I've actually been thinking about returning to Wild Hearts.
Yeah,
Have I told you about what they got now,
I mean
dude?
they've got updates, but I think they've announced that the game is done. So what we have
Really?
now is it. Yeah,
Oh, I didn't know that.
yeah, which
I
is a bummer
know.
because it needed more
Um,
time.
yeah,
There was a good game. There's a good game there.
yeah. They're like cutting uh updates or like taking the game
Yep.
offline.
No update. Oh, yeah. I mean, I don't know about going off live, but I just know I don't think there's going to be any more updates,
And
and
that's just
that sucks.
yeah, no, it does. I mean, I've seen that happen so much. I could probably name 5 games right now that I've seen that happen to in the last year and a half. And it's like these are games that I'm so passionate about. I love them so much. They're so fun. And it's like no more
Hmm.
updates. And I'm like,
Yep.
wow. It just crazy.
Hmm.
Um so moving into because we wanted to talk about this a little bit. We wanted to talk about some ups, some downs. We talked about that a little
Yeah,
bit.
go for it.
What are some of the biggest challenges you've faced in the world of gaming and content creation while being an advocate of a good beer? Have you seen have you seen any challenges for that specifically? Like have you
Yeah.
ever faced like judgment from like liking beer and like promoting beer? Has someone been like, "Ah, you shouldn't be doing that," or like has there ever been like a big challenge that really stuck to you and you're like,
Yeah.
man, that sucked?
Uh, I mean, I think there are causes that I don't. So, like the St. Jude cancer research stuff. Um, I've done a few activations with them, but I feel like I should have to take my sign down. I don't do any beer stuff. I don't want to be drinking when I'm talking about kids with cancer.
Yeah.
Like I don't
Yeah.
like and so there are things that I just and rather than do that, I rather than do that, I typically try and think about causes that my brand makes sense with.
Mm.
And so you do pigeonhole yourself in some way with brands. And this is every decision. Whether or not you want to be child friendly. Well, then you limit your game selection. If
Yeah.
you want to involve certain substances, well, like I know I have people who are in my community and people who follow me on Twitter where they're either in recovery, they're currently struggling with it, um, and that has been always something that I've been really open about. Is like so I do not show how much I've drank in a night. I do not tell people how many beers I've had. if you want to count, you totally can. Like you're able to kind of like go through it. Um, I also tell people I'm constantly drinking water. I am like,
Yeah.
I'm doing this the best way I can. I don't want people to keep up with me. I don't want people to try and like get drunk. I don't want people to get like super slosh just watching my stream. If they want to crack open a beer at the end of an afternoon, at the end of their day, that's totally fine. And I've had issues where people kind of cross boundaries where it seemed like they were getting a little too involved with like how they wanted my content to work, and like they were actually doing things that I was worried about their health. Um, I and that's never been my goal. I've never wanted someone to like see me drinking a bunch of beer, thinking that they can do it and just do it and get sick, do it too regularly. Like I'm 6'5", 270 pounds. I just naturally can drink a lot. So
You are very tall.
yeah, and
Dude, I'm
I
5'10". I'm
yes.
small.
And so, like, if say somebody like you was trying to like kill beers with me, they could seriously get sick. Like,
Yeah.
they might act like it can actually harm them, and that has never been something I've wanted to do, and I've always been pretty vocal about that. Which is another reason why you don't see me take a lot of shots on stream.
Yeah.
You don't see me. I'll take a pull of a bottle every now and then. I'll get a little silly and kind of take it too far some evenings. But I also just don't drink as much as I used to on stream. So back in the day when I had a stream that really needed a moderator, I part of the reason I paid Calidvor, like I paid him monthly, one of his jobs was to say your too drunk stream is over, and I was not allowed to fight with it. I wouldn't do anything. And he had permission that if I fought with him, he could raid somebody and just end it. He was allowed to just cut me off entirely.
Wow.
And he did it twice. And both times I rewatched the VOD and I was like, he was right. A little slurring, a little spilling, because another thing I also don't want to, that's not what I want my content to be.
Yeah.
And so, one time he was like, hey, January, I think you had enough. It's time to call it a night. And I was like, okay, let's do it. I don't think he ever had to do like any strong arming. I think both times he recommended it, I went pretty quietly. Is the way to say it. But then again, that is, if I'm going to engage in this content, that is a standard I need to set, because if you don't draw those boundaries, if you don't draw those lines, and you get big doing something super drunk,
Yeah.
suddenly you are going to feel the need and the mental thing where that's what your content is. And I never wanted my content to be me drunk, slurring, doing things.
Yeah.
And I also know, like, and there's a really famous clip, of a guy doing a shoey, which I do find funny, and I will do a shoey on stream one day. And that's where you pour your beer into a shoe and you chug it. And he did it.
Listen, I may be 22, but I've seen some stuff.
Then he pulls out a gun.
Oh God!
He's
well, I've seen that clip.
He discharges it.
Yes, and
into his wall.
He actually blew up his monitor too. Yes. Yeah.
And he is a piece of garbage. It's unacceptable. And I never want, and that is like content like that. And back in my day, before we got that, we had Phantom Lord. Phantom Lord was a League of Legends streamer who ended up scamming a bunch of his audience and fleeing to Mexico, but that's a whole other thing.
Oh wait! Wait!
Yeah,
we gotta get some lore on that one of these days.
Can of worms. Just
one of these days.
Phantom Lord scan. Phantom Lord scam.
Okay.
He used to get so drunk he would like pick up his keyboard and vomit all over it.
Oh.
Like that, and that became like his content. And I was like, nope, never. I do that. It's just not what I want.
Yeah.
And so I knew instantly when I started creating content, for my own health and for the sake of the respect of alcohol that I think is kind of deserved, right? This goes back to using it, or enjoying it, experiencing it, not using it.
Yeah.
That was something that was always, and I knew, like, that's another thing. Like when you're on this platform, I know my average age is a bit older than I think most people. I can go through my Discord right now. I maybe have one or two active minors, which I feel weird even saying that. Maybe though, for the most part, they're 24 plus.
Hmm.
Which for Twitch, that's a fucking old audience.
Yeah.
Um, but at the same time, you're always going to get younger people paying attention, watching, and you need to put out there what you think is going on. And if I get some young kid who's sneaking his dad's bourbon or stealing beers from the fridge and trying to have a few with his old boy January, like I wanted it to be done in like a way that I could sleep at night.
Hmm. You
If
want
I
to
thought they were
make
doing it,
sure that the beer in itself is being respected, but also you
yeah,
want to make sure that you're setting a good example because you never
yeah,
know who's watching. You could have someone who is underage that never types in the chat, but watches you, and one night you go on a bender and they're like, "Hey, I want to join," and then it's like,
exactly,
so
exactly.
definitely setting that good example. And that another thing, like you said as well, how you never wanted your content to be that kind of way, right?
Mhm.
The dude like picked up his keyboard and like threw up all over it. There's one thing that I hate the most. Like I despise it with everything, every cell that my body is comprised of, and it's throwing up. I cannot
Yeah,
stand throwing up. It is the most repulsive thing ever. It's disgusting. It tastes horrible. I can't do it. I can't do it.
it's a bummer. Yeah.
And I had not thrown up for about 9 years. About 9. I've
Hmm.
never thrown up. No stomach bug, sickness, nothing. One night I had too much to drink and I decided that it was also going to be on stream, which was a horrible idea because yeah, I
That wasn't your 21st, was it?
no. No, no,
Okay,
no.
good.
This was after that. I decided that I was going to drink, a little more than I should have, and I watched back that VOD to me half blacking out, not really, but like kind of
Mm.
slurring a lot of my words, having like being very like so out of it and like
Yeah, yeah.
no, just very very like floaty, right? And
Hmm.
then the next thing I see, I wasn't on my full screen, thank God, but I knelt down and you couldn't actually see it on stream, but I knew that was the moment that I puked all over my floor. And yeah, 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 I puked.
You didn't even make it off stream.
Nope. No, I literally puked all over my floor, and I literally wiped my mouth and I audibly said, "That's it for me. Good night, everyone." And I pressed stop stream, ripped off all my clothes, and fell into bed. I'm dead serious. When I woke up 6 hours
Holy
later to puke covered clothes, puke covered floor, I said, I can never do this again. Now,
Yeah,
fast forward, I don't know, 6 months, I did do that again. And I said,
of course.
okay. I said,
Now this is it. Yeah.
and I said, now, okay, 2 times, fool me 1 time, shame on me. Fool me twice. I can't get fooled 3 times. No more. No more. Done, 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 done. I said, no.
Oh,
Both of these situations happened on stream, and I was like, I will never allow my content to be like this. I don't want my reputation to
yep,
be like this. I
yep,
don't want people to
absolutely.
think of me like this. And I was like, I cannot do this again. So I just said, no,
Go.
never again.
Yeah.
And it's I did not I didn't have the ability to cut it off. I didn't have the
Yeah.
ability to say no. And actually something that I learned about myself as well is if you encourage me to drink when I'm already drinking, I will keep drinking. And
Well,
I and
it's
I
not
said,
you. That's alcohol.
yeah, like, but there is no censor at all. Like I
Yeah.
will literally just take a shot, let's go. And it doesn't
Yeah.
like I bought a brand new bottle. I have literally not touched it since that day, and I'm not touching it again. I bought a brand new bottle of Sazerac. I'll send it to
Yeah.
you.
Oh,
Like,
are we done with the Sazerac? Are you just done?
oh, dude, I gotta majorly reconsider, like for real. But I literally that night I was swigging from the bottle itself after
Yep.
and it's a big
Bottle
bottle.
pulls are dangerous. Bottle pulls are
Dude,
dangerous.
when I literally had already had probably, I think I was 12 shots in, uh, and I literally just started pulling straight from the bottle, and
Yeah.
then I threw up like 3 times that night. It's all over my clothes, all over my bed, and I was like, I can never do this again.
Yeah,
So
that is a lot. I mean, you're getting
yeah,
dangerous levels at that point.
yeah, yeah. And when I tell you the literal sickness that I felt for 3 days after that, I was
Hmm.
I was lucky to hold down bread. Like I was
Yeah.
like, I can't do this.
Yeah.
So
Well, especially since I'm the one that sent you that exact bottle, you
no, no, no,
can't
no, 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 no. Listen,
don't make me feel
listen,
bad.
listen. No, 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 no. Listen, listen. No, it was what I had on hand, and it's
I know.
because
I know.
it is because I didn't put rails.
Yeah.
I didn't put
Oh, I know. I
safety
know.
nets. So please do not take any blame at all. It is not you. It is the fact that I had zero self control, and I learned that night that
Yeah.
I need self control. Otherwise, I will do things that I regret. So, yeah.
Absolutely.
Said I literally walk into my room and hear discussions on puke. Yeah. Hi, Viking. Great time to. What's up, man? Hey, Viking. How you doing, brother? Hopefully you're doing well. Alrighty. Have you noticed, Jao? Have you noticed any differences in gaming from before you started making gaming content up until now? Big differences. Any main differences you've noticed?
Uh, I mean, drops have been a wild one.
Oh yeah, yeah.
The
A lot more
conversation,
games. A lot more games are
yeah,
getting
the
drops.
conversations between um, the conversation between developers, live streamers, um, that is stuff that is always a consistent conversation. Especially when you have games that I would say are pretty much only alive because of their association with broadcast content creators.
Yeah.
Uh,
Oh man,
Escape
I've
from Tarkov being a
been a
super big one.
part of a couple of those. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And then, of course, you know, how many small games had a blip on the radar,
Hmm.
activated a bunch of streamers, were alive for 6 months, then disappeared.
Yep.
Um,
I
so there's
was a
been a
part
lot
of
of that.
a couple of those too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. No, there's been a lot of that. And so, um, when I, being on this side of it rather than straight the viewership gamer side, I don't think it's exactly good. Um,
Hmm.
I've seen what drop campaigns do to people. Um, I've seen inequitable partnership programs.
Hmm.
Um, you know,
Do you think it breeds like an unhealthy competition for like who gets it and who doesn't?
well, I mean, it depends on so like drop campaigns. If you're like Tarkov, for example, the streamers who get drops are always the big ones,
Mhm.
and they always do drops during the big during wipe phases. So, for example, the people on top just get more on top.
Yeah.
Like if you're under 100 viewers on the regular, and you don't have a big following in Tarkov, trying to stream Tarkov during the week of wipe, you're actively killing your own channel.
Yeah.
If you don't have drops, if you're not somebody known for doing something big in that game, you're just losing. And so obviously that is just one way that as what is the way we currently just do not have a way to um mathematically determine what good content is. We
Mm.
only have concurrent viewership. While it isn't the best way to do it, it's literally all we have.
Yeah.
Um, you know, and
On
this is not
in terms of like
go ahead.
YouTube, you have the watch time, right?
Mm,
You have like, X percentage of people watched X duration of the video,
mhm.
right? And it's like if that's almost all the video, that's a good video, right?
Yes.
That might not
But
be the case. It might just be that, you know, there was 12 people that really wanted to see that video, maybe,
yeah.
right?
And that
So,
doesn't mean just because all 12 people watch it 100% way, that doesn't mean 1,000 people are. That doesn't mean a
yep,
million people are.
yep,
So
exactly.
even if you have, we know that YouTube will push a dog water video that has 1 million views just because they know it has 1 million views.
Yeah.
And so it is like, um, it is that situation where uh, there isn't really a fair way to distribute viewers. Um, and I don't think nobody has the answer. No platform has the answer,
Mm.
and it's going to kind of continue that way. And a game developer, doesn't care. um, somebody like Battlestate Games, the developer of Escape from Tarkov,
Mm.
does not care if 10,000 extra viewers are watching only one streamer. They're
Yeah.
just happy that 10,000 extra viewers are there,
Right.
right? When Call of Duty, does their drops, they don't care if they're only watching Tim the Tap Man. They don't care if they're on Twitch. They don't care if they're on YouTube. They're
Right.
just happy
It's just the fact that
they're
they're
they're in
watching
there.
that game. Yeah.
Yeah. So there is that disconnect where it just doesn't the gaming and the way that gaming's changed with live streaming, it just doesn't matter.
Yeah.
And the nature of streaming has changed, right? I mean, um, as different platforms have come out with different rules, different platforms come out with different um, expectations. Uh, this goes back to that barrier of entry being so different. It's naturally going to change, and it's going to be a whole lot different in another 6 years, right? Live streaming is going to be different. Who knows
Yeah.
what kind of instant feedback viewers and streamers are going to be able to give each other in 5 years.
Something I think that is actually pretty crazy is the guest stream, the
Yeah.
guest star, right? That's like a built-in feature to
hmm
Twitch now, right? Like that's literally built into how it, how Twitch works. You can literally invite another streamer on as if it was
hmm
like a Discord call, and I think you can even like merge chats too. So you can like,
Interesting.
yeah. So it's like crazy, that's just another step into, I mean, what are we going to see in 5 years, like you're saying, 5 6 years?
Yep.
It's crazy. So I mean, do you think there will be more of a do you think there will be a change in like community, and there'll be a community disconnect as time goes on? Or do you think the people that are very close and like, you know very community like oriented, right? That's what they do. It's all about their
hmm
community. Do you think those channels will thrive and that'll kind of keep going, but maybe content as itself will change to be more, I don't know, solo kind of driven?
Yeah, and so like community has a couple of different meanings.
Mhm.
So community for streamers like you and I are we we say something in our Discord and we expect other people to have a conversation with us,
Mm.
or even one of our viewers might, how is everybody doing today? On some level, they might be expecting us to respond to
Yeah.
that. Right, and so I do see, and I already know that there are currently companies that are looking to kind of mo- more heavily monetize the parasocial relationship of um, of live streaming and content creators. I was approached from a company offering a texting service
Really?
between a broadcaster and their community,
Mm.
and I want nothing to do with that. I don't want anybody to pay to talk to me. I don't want people to think that they have that kind of access to me. I am very comfortable leaving my Discord and my conversations when I feel like I want to do that. And so I do think we're going to see more of that, um, especially since that kind of functionality hasn't hit TikTok yet, where that kind of like, because I don't see a lot of TikTok streamers making Discords. I don't see them harboring a community outside their comment section.
Yeah.
And so, versus when you see somebody like Amaranth, XQC, um, people talk in their Discords all the time, and I'm assuming XQC and Amaranth probably never respond.
Right. I mean, that
Or
you're like, you're honestly talking about probably
right,
50,000 messages a day,
exactly. But
right?
and there's just
Like,
no way they could, even if they
right.
wanted to.
Right.
So I don't for I actually see for the largest creators, um, their community be rivaling more like a cultish following of a TV show
Mm.
rather than a creator fan back and forth. So,
Got
and
you.
the reality is like if you're under probably 500 CCV, you can still go into your Discord and have a conversation with people.
Absolutely.
Because there aren't people who are like hounding you to like get your attention to talk with you. But once you get to that certain level where you reach kind of like a rock star, you can't.
Mhm.
Doesn't You're not able to. Maybe
Right.
you're able to have like I don't know, tier 3 hangout sessions once a month or something like that, like some of these people will do. Um, but that relationship, that thing is going to be really different. So I do see big creators getting situations where they're more like TV shows and more situations where that parasocial relationship will start being monetized for creators under a certain size.
I appreciate you explaining that. Thank you. Now I know we're getting a little down to the wire
Yeah,
here. I don't want to hold you too long.
you're good. You got
Um,
15.
all
15.
right, all right, all right. Okay, so was there a moment in streaming, gaming, content creation, or just chill on the couch drinking a beer one day where you thought, "Wow, this is special"? Was there a specific moment where you just had like a wow?
Yeah. I've had a couple. I've had a couple like moments where um, I realized that these are memories that I will take with me for the rest of my life. Um, one of them was when Dauntless had just gone from pretty sure I'm pretty sure it was one of the major Dauntless updates. I don't think it was after launch. I think it was still in the open beta phase. Actually, I think it was from closed beta to open beta. Myself, Rebby Rad, and um, somebody else, Seda. Seda. I was going to say Sadat, but it's Seda. All three of us, we did a trio stream where we rushed the end game. We all three of us streamed together for about 17 or 18 hours straight. We just
Wow.
grinded everything. We were among, if not among the world's first to fight a new tier of monster that they were teasing, behemoth rather. Um, and we had developers on their breaks coming in asking us questions about things they had worked on. Developers were tweeting at us with selfies with in their office where we were on their monitors where they were watching us play the game that they had just worked on. Uh, the community was heavily involved, from community managers to translators to fans of the content to, I mean, we it was it was nuts. It was a once in a lifetime thing where I truly felt like I had transcended a broadcaster, where I had transcended, where it almost felt like I was in a unique place in time and space where people I respected were watching me. People I were hoping to entertain were watching me. Where I truly felt like a content creator and I was doing it with my friends.
You felt seen.
Um, yeah, and I know that that is a situation that'll never happen again. Just because it was a perfect storm of me having the clout where somebody would care if I did that, to the developers real time being involved, to the height of my viewership as a creator. And it was just it was incredible. I mean, I have not, even the best of times outside of that. I have they've all been chasing that feeling. Another one was getting my first world record kill time
Oh,
in Dauntless. I did that one live. Um, and the next was killing Pontiff Sullivan in Dark Souls 3 in my Tifa cosplay. Um, that was just I still go back. I will go back and watch clips from that stream just because of how that was like, because that was my first Dark Souls experience, Dark Souls 3. And I think on a super silly like emotional level, truly feel like beating Dark Souls 3 will change you as a person.
I like that. Thank you
Yeah.
for sharing. Thank you very much for sharing. Now, Jao, all-time favorite beers. What do you got? If you were to give, I don't know,
Yeah.
3, 5, what do you got?
So the Jesus Christ, my chair's stuck.
My chair does that so much. It's like there's nothing for it to be stuck on, but it gets
Yeah, and
stuck.
it's just stuck. Yeah,
Yep.
it's stuck. I
You're
don't
like,
know.
I guess I'm not moving.
Yeah, I'm not moving. But
Yep.
so this is an old beer. Back in my, it's not even made anymore.
Back in my day, we need to get a back in my day counter. Yo, oh
Broken
man,
Halo from Widmer Brewing was the beer that my dad gave me to what I talked about earlier. So that one will go down my heart as one of the best. Secondary to a beer called Celebration Ale by Sierra Nevada. It is a seasonal beer that they only release in the winter time. Always a stellar beer. Absolutely well done. Um, I have to, let's see. Right now, a local brewery here makes a smoked lager that I'm obsessed with. It is a unique beer. Um, it is fun. It's interesting. It gives me the heebie-jeebies in all the best ways. I'm obsessed with it. And I will also always recommend, and I absolutely adore. Of course, now I'm forgetting its name. Oh no, it's a
is it
cream
a?
style ale
Okay,
that I'm really just struggling on the name with. They just stopped canning it actually and distributing it, which just hurts my soul. I do believe it's from. Hold on here. Oh wow, next time. Yeah, and so like, and that's another thing. Like, I try not to like. I have had so much beer that I try not to like individually rank them.
yeah,
It is a I haven't had this style in a little while, so I'm gonna try this one.
they all have
And
their
every now and
own
then, yeah,
experience.
they are. And some days like, even though I'm a hop head, some days I don't want a super hoppy beer, and I want some a little lighter.
Yeah.
Um, it's a pilsner style. Now I'm stuck on that beer that I'm thinking of. Uh, yeah.
All-time favorite games. What do you got?
Uh, Dark Souls 3,
Okay.
closed beta Dauntless.
Oh yeah.
Um, and more recently, uh, see, let me take a look at my Steam list real fast. You know, this is going to be really stupid. That car for sale simulator, I still absolutely adore it. It's really dumb. Probably the dumbest game I've ever played in my entire life, but I love it. And more recently, Killer Frequency is a
Yeah.
game I just played where
Yeah.
you're in the 80s and you're trying to help people escape from a serial killer.
Yeah.
Absolutely adored that game. Absolutely adored it.
Very nice. Now, the question, the main question we've all been waiting for: is there, and if so, what is the main big reason you are considering halting your gaming content creation?
Yeah. Uh, I'd be lying if I said it didn't have to do pretty much 100% with metrics.
Yeah.
Um,
Analytical statistics
yeah.
and yeah.
So every single quarter, you can even say, for the last 4 years have been in the red.
Wow.
Every single one. And it's not rapid, it's not quick, but I have not grown in followers, CCV, subscribers in 4 years. It has been straight down. And there have been moments where I get little blips of something going up. And so it's not so much that I should or want to, it's that I know sooner or later I am going to press go live and I'm going to be alone. And if I do that, that happens. Why am I doing it? Why am I doing it? Like, why am I continuing to do it?
Yeah.
Because I know it's going to hurt. I know it's going to be a bummer.
Dude, that tear's
I,
coming back, man.
yeah. And
Ah,
so if, and to be fair, that's not any, that is, that is my fault, but not because I'm a bad guy, not because I chase people off. I stream sometimes 6-7 hours a week. That's less than most full times do in a day.
yeah.
I don't create secondary content. If you're not growing in this industry, you're shrinking. That's just like, if you're not gaining follows, if you're not gaining viewers, you are shrinking. And that's just the reality of where I've come from, where I've been, and what the future for me holds. And it's a matter of if I want to drag this out or, you know, go out on my own terms.
That tear's coming back, man. Ah. If you were to start from scratch, zero, from the beginning, in the world of gaming content creation, knowing all that you know, would you change anything?
Yeah, I wouldn't do it.
You wouldn't do it at all.
I would exclusively make shit posts on TikTok, and I would I'd probably be a moderator in somebody's broadcast. I
I
could
have,
because there would be no way that I could start from scratch right now and get what I have today.
yeah.
I
I
couldn't do it.
I have heard of a lot of people saying that they feel like they can manage streams but not stream themselves. Not saying that's what this situation is, but I have heard a lot of people that say when I go live, I can't make it go right, but I can see things happen before they happen in my buddy's stream. And there was another content creator that said maybe you're not meant to be a streamer, maybe you're meant to be a moderator, right? And
Yeah.
it literally, and I was like, I never thought of that before. I was like, wow. I was like, hmm. Because at the end of the day, mods are just as important as the streamer as well. You know,
Mhm.
mods make the world go round. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
you have to have mods to be able to keep you as the streamer keep the flow of the stream going. You are the one that presses
Mhm.
go live, but the mods are the one that keep the chat moving. They're the one that keep the chat moving. They're the one that make sure rules are enforced. They're the ones that make sure information to the streamer gets there on time and the streamer's informed of something that may be happening in the stream, or like, so yeah, it is also very important. Now, Jao, thank you very much for your time. I appreciate you so
Of course.
much. Do you have
Of course.
anything that you want to say to the people, man? Seriously, thank you so much.
Yeah. Well, and not too much. Know that if you are somebody who watches streams, um, especially if you're in your sub 200 viewer streamers, know that like every positive message you send is making someone's day better. I think it is really easy to see somebody on camera, somebody in front of the lights doing something, and think, oh, their life must be great. And this goes the opposite way as well, right? Like,
Yeah.
yeah, being in front of the camera, just reading text, it's very easy to dehumanize people. And I think a reminder that we are dealing with people who have jobs, have hard days, are going through shit in their life, vice versa, whether the viewer or the streamer, like, know that those interactions can be incredible. And they're real and they're awesome. Know that if you are a broadcaster and you're worried about numbers, you're worried about anything, um, it isn't about, you need to be honest with yourself about what you can do, what you can't do, what you can achieve, what you can't achieve. And as difficult it is to remind yourself now, just because you may not have the viewership or the things you want, you're not less of a person. It's just the reality of the situation. So much of this industry is a mixture of luck and timing. Um, and, there are, and this is not new, there are a million musicians who are some of the best players on the planet that you've never heard of because they weren't in the right time, right place.
Yeah.
That goes tenfold for your written works. your painting, your everything. This is just the new way of people expressing themselves. And what's going to happen there is a lot of people who deserve and create incredible things aren't going to get noticed, and that's not your fault.
Man, well said. Very, very well put. My final question for you is,
Mhm.
where can people find you? Where can they find you,
Yeah,
man?
yeah. You can find me
Where can people support you?
at JanuaryAndOn on just about every social media page. Uh, Real.bartender on TikTok. Um, yeah, and I currently am doing a lot of work on my car on Instagram, so a lot of that journey is going to be there if you're
Your
interested in
car's
automotive
beautiful,
content.
by the way. It is
Yeah,
beautiful.
feeling really lucky. Feeling really lucky. And yeah, you can find me Sundays and Mondays, twitch.tv/JanuaryAndOn, doing something silly. And I live on Twitter because that's what I do for work. So at me, send me a message, call me an asshole, one of the two.
Zhao, I want to say thank you very much for your time. Thank you very much for being a part of the podcast. Thank you for believing in this series as well. Like I said, I'd take back from the very beginning, from the first episode, man, from before it
Yeah,
even aired. You were the one that said W. You were the one that said, like, let's
yeah,
go. And here we are 17 weeks later. We're still going. We have you on.
love it,
It's an honor. It's a
love it.
pleasure. Zhao, I want you to know that you're loved. I love you. I appreciate you. I respect you. You are an incredible human being. You've done incredible things. You've
Thank you.
influenced my life in a multitude of positive ways. And I'm grateful to know you, man. So seriously, please know that you got a fan, you got a friend. I appreciate you, man.
Cheers.
You have been seen, and you've made me feel seen too. Thank you.
Appreciate you, man.
Thank you very much,
Goodbye,
man.
everybody.
Yo, I love you so much, man. Bye, Zhao.
Bye bye.
Such a good guy, man. Such a good guy. Oh, dude. Man. Oh, dude. The freaking the tear jerkers, man. The tear jerkers, man. I love Zhao so much, man. I love him so much. He's such a good guy. He's such a good guy, man. Very good dude. Very, 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 very good dude, man. Honestly, very grateful to know him and have the opportunity to, to talk to him and to hear his insight, to hear, his perspective and, how he goes about things. It really is an incredible thing, man. I'm happy that I've had this opportunity, man. Seriously. And thank you very much to everyone that has been a part of his community and has supported him. He truly is an amazing guy, and I'm very happy that I've had the opportunity to know him and get to know him, get to see his content live or a short form or a long form or whatever it may be. And I'm happy that he has been able to impact a lot of people as well. He's definitely impacted a lot of people. He's impacted and influenced my life, like I said, in a multitude of positive ways, and it really is an incredible thing, man. So, Zhao, thank you very much. Zhao's community, thank you very much. Wolfpack, thank you very much. We appreciate you guys so much. We love you guys so much. Seriously, this is something truly incredible. We thank you for supporting this series and wanting to see these episodes. Thank you for continuing to tune in week after week. I appreciate you guys so much. No matter how many people watch these episodes live or come back and watch them as a VOD, every single person that hears what we're saying and joins the conversation, truly it is an incredible thing, and I appreciate you all very much. Thank you very much for being here. Thank you very much for hanging out. I love you guys so much, and I hope you have an incredible rest of your Friday and a wonderful weekend. Thank you, Wolfpack. Thank you, Zhao. Thank you, Zhao's community. Thank you, everyone. We love you so much. Deuces.